Another Monday, you guys. Another hangover Monday. Let's talk about it. What is going on, Raider Nation? Raiders Primo is back again with a hangover Monday. Again, the Raiders fall to the Chicago Bears 25-24 yesterday, bringing their record to 1-3 on the year. Ugly win, but there were some bright spots in yesterday's loss, but definitely a game that we could have won. And we're gonna get right into it. Salute to the chat. Sean Johnson, salute Primos. Hope you're ready to attack this live. We got all your notes. Let the Raiders have it. Don't hold back, brother. I'll try to. I'll see. I want to yell, scream, but I don't have it in me, Sean. I mean, we'll see. We'll see where the live goes. We'll see. We'll see if we get a Primos rant. I just feeling I'm feeling very, very under the weather today. CGR, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Yes, you guys. Share the link around. Share. Tell everybody that Primos is live right now. And let's get it cracking. We got Demokes in the building. First, yes. Is that a frog? First frog? Is that supposed to be Mahomes? Freaking frog boy. But anyways, you guys, let's dive into it. Let's dive into yesterday's game, you guys. I was just busy watching the film. I didn't watch all of it. Definitely am going to get back into it and watch majority of the good plays and the bad plays. I seen Jeanty's 64-yard run. I seen all three interceptions of Geno Smith. I seen Max Crosby's interception. Really just wanted to point out some key moments, even the sack that Tyree Wilson got. I wanted to take some good out of yesterday's game. But let's get with the stat sheet, you guys. Caleb Williams was 22 for 37, 212 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, had a passer rating of 73.3. Yards per attempt is 5.7. His completion percentage, 59.5. He was sacked 1 time and was pressured 10 times in total of yesterday's game. Geno Smith, 14 for 21, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, costly interceptions at that. 73 passer rating, 5.6 per attempt, had a completion percentage of 66.7%. He was not sacked at all, and he had he was pressured 6 times on average of time to throw. He had 2.61 seconds, so he really got the ball out quick. In yesterday's game. For the Bears in the rushing department, DeAndre Swift, their leading back, had 14 carries, 38 yards. He did have a touchdown. He averaged 2.7 yards a clip. And Ashton Jeanty, 21 carries, 138 yards, 1 touchdown. He did have a fumble and a fumble loss in yesterday's game. Roma Dunze, they're the leading wide receiver. He had 8 targets, 4 catches, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Cole Kmet, 9 targets, 3 catches, 46 yards. DJ Moore, 4 catches on 5 targets, 38 yards. For the Raiders, Brock Bowers, 5 catches on 6 targets for 46 yards. Jacoby Myers, 4 catches on 7 targets, 30 yards. Ashton Jeanty, 2 catches, 2 targets, 17 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Trey Tucker, 2 catches on 2 targets, 13 yards. And outside of that, that's your stat line for the Chicago Bears versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's get into the good first, you guys. I'm not gonna get into the bad at the beginning. Let's get into the good. Ashton Jeanty, you guys, performed, had a breakout game. Like I said, you guys, he had 21 rushing attempts, had 138 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 fumble loss, one fumble lost. Yeah, but man, that 64-yard burst, you love to see it. You love to see it. It said after a slow start, Next Gen set some insights from yesterday's game. After a slow start to the season, Ashton Jeanty finally broke through in a Week 4 loss against Chicago. Jeanty carried 21 times for a career high 138 yards and a touchdown, generating plus 47 rushing yards over expected after posting negative 45 across weeks 1 through 2. He gained 140 of his rushing yards after contact, the second most by any player in a game this season. Jeanty also flashed as a receiver, turning both of his targets into touchdowns. He finished with a 33.5 PPR points, for those fantasy experts out there, more than his total from weeks 1 through 3 combined. Anyone saying this guy's a bust still? Anyone saying that this guy is a bust? Calm it down. Calm it down. You see what happens when you get good blocking in front of Jeanty. We knew Jeanty needed to have a breakout game. He did. Another guy, you guys, shout out to Max Crosby. Max Crosby having an interception in a tackle for loss. I have a stat line here, you guys. Max Crosby versus Chicago, 5 tackles, 3 tackles for losses, 3 pass breakups, 3 pressures, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. Crosby is one of 9 defensive linemen in the NFL since 2000 to record multiple games with 3+ pass breakups. He has 2 for his career. Shout out to Max Crosby, you guys. And I bring these 2 guys up, Max Crosby and Ashton Jeanty, because these are 2 guys, you guys, that they laid it out all out there. They gave 110% out there. Ashton Jeanty wanted to win. Max Crosby wanted to win. And shout out to the rest of the defense, too. It felt they were feeding off of Max Crosby. They were put in terrible, terrible situations. And for the game to still be that close when Chicago, honestly, you guys, probably should have been blowing us out with how many mistakes Geno Smith made and even Ashton Jeanty coughing up the football, that this should have been a blowout. The Raiders shouldn't even have had a lead in the game. We'll get into how the game ended later. But shout out to Raider Nation 509. He said at Raiders PFF top 5/bottom 5 grades for the Week 4 versus the Bears. The offensive line allowed just 3 pressures yesterday after giving up 51 pressures in the first 3 games. Overall, much better grades across the board, which was evident in the close game. But when your quarterback is the lowest graded player, well, here we are. And those grades are going to look like this, you guys. In the top 5, Max Crosby, 91.5. Landon Roberts, 81.6. Ashton Jeanty, 83.4. Colton Miller, 80.3. Malcolm Kuntz, 80.2. In the bottom 5, Geno Smith, 29.7. Devin White, 39.2. Thomas Booker, 43.1. Dante Thornton Jr., 47.9. Isaiah Palomalu, I can't really see. Wait, I think that's 50. I think it was 52.2. I can't tell because there's like a thing blocking it, but it's in the 50s. And this guy and Raider Nation 509 is exactly right. When your quarterback is the lowest graded player of the game, you're likely going to lose. 29.7 PFF grade for Geno Smith, you guys. Disgusting work. Shout out to Raiders.scout on X. Raiders pass blocking versus Chicago was Miller, Parham, Meredith, JPJ. 0 sacks, 0 pressures allowed from the 4 of them. DJ Glaze, he did have 1 pressure allowed. Geno Smith, 2 pressures were created by himself. 1 kept clean. Smith threw 1 interception when pressured, both as a result of his own doing. He threw 2 interceptions. Disgusting work, you guys. Also, Ashton Jeanty logged 144 yards, 129 after contact, 9 forced missed tackles, and 5+ rushes of 10 or more yards for the Raiders yesterday. He posted 62 yards over expected. Jeanty also forced 3 missed tackles on his 2 receptions. Raheem Mostert logged 62 yards with 44 after contact, along with 44 over expected. I would love to see more of an Ashton Jeanty and a Raheem Mostert duo. Keep Zamir White inactive. Raiders pass rush versus Chicago. Max Crosby, 5 pressures, 3 hits, 18.4% win rate, forced fumble, and an interception. Malcolm Kuntz, he had also 5 pressures, 26.9% win rate. Tyree Wilson, 3 pressures, picked up a sack, quarterback hit, a 15.7% win rate. Thomas Booker, 3 pressures, 15.4% win rate. Also, Lalu, Holmes, White, Butler, Pegues, 1 pressure each. Butler with a 12.5% win rate and Pegues with a 4.5% win rate. And shout out to Max Crosby, you guys. And I got to give credit to where credit's due. Malcolm Kuntz, Tyree Wilson. I got to give credit where credit's due. Tyree Wilson did pick up a sack, and it looked like there was some miscommunication on the Chicago's offensive line as they try to shift to the I think their guard tried to shift to the right to pick up Devin White, who was coming on a blitz. The center was supposed to pick up Tyree Wilson, didn't. Tyree Wilson had a free shot on Caleb, picked up the sack. Hey, but Tyree, that's the point. Tyree got the sack. That is what we want him to get, is sacks. Malcolm Kuntz with the 5 pressures, 26.9% win rate. Would love to see more out of Malcolm Kuntz, but he was applying pressure to Caleb. You know, Caleb was just utilizing his legs and escaping the pocket. Raiders Scout said that Las Vegas defense did allow the final touchdown drive. They also were on the field for 33 minutes, 15 seconds of the game. They gave up 4.2 yards per play and held Chicago to 25 points with just 13 coming off 4 turnovers. Raiders defense added 8 tackles for losses, 7 pass breakups, an interception, forced fumble, and 2.7 yards per carry on the ground. You win games allowing 25 points, regardless if they finally gave up a game-ending touchdown. You can't have 4 turnovers and win. To have a 4 turnover game and have a chance to win is full credit to your defense. Raiders Scout bringing the truth, nothing but the truth. Anybody who is putting blame on this defense, man, did you watch the game? The defense should not have even been put in that position. And again, the reason why we even had a lead in the game was because of the defense. And it just gets more disgusting. From Ryan McFadden on X, the Raiders' 240 rushing yards is the most in a loss in franchise history, breaking the records for the wrong reasons. Ian Swanson, Jackson Powers Johnson will start at right guard again for the Raiders next week. Carroll praised his effort. I mean, Pete, the fan, you making it sound like it's a shot. Like he is next to Cole Miller. He is your best offensive lineman. Also, Raheem Mostert will be active next week. Carroll noted that Zamir White was active over him through the first 3 weeks, largely for special teams purposes. Well, Zamir can't do both. So, yeah, let's get him out of there. Also, Ian Swanson replied that Carroll called Geno Smith hard-headed for the 2 interceptions thrown to the Bears safety Kevin Byard. Also said that the connection to Dante Thorne near the goal line at the end of the game needs to be there. Put blame on both the low pass from Geno and failure to hang on from Dante. I agree, but the thing is, Geno had an open Dante. Dante was not going to be any more open than he already was. Like, you got to put it on him. You got to put that ball on him. Don't make it hard for your receivers, Geno. That's the thing. Like, why do these receivers have to make circus catches all the time? That's my thing. Like, I get it. Hit his hands, gotta catch it. I'm not taking it away. Criticism from Dante. He needs to come down with that. He needs to catch that. But as the quarterback, why are you making your wide receivers work harder, especially when there's nobody around them? And he had a walk-in touchdown. I literally seen when I was watching the game live, you guys. I seen Dante Thornton coming over the middle, wide open, and I seen that Geno seen him. I'm like, oh, bro, it's a touchdown. Low fucking pass. Like, it didn't even need to be a low pass. Also, other notes, you guys. Max Crosby currently leads the rate. This is a nasty stat, you guys. And I mean, this just shows how dominant Crosby is, but this just shows how bad that our secondary is, you guys. Max Crosby currently leads the Raiders in pass breakups with 4. He is 11th in the NFL. His 1 interception is also tied for first on the team as well. I know the secondary, the defense didn't really play bad yesterday, but the secondary, they gave up it was a 30-yard touchdown on Rome Odunze. Secondary looked a little bit lost out there, and this has been continuing for the first 4 weeks. They've been having some communication issues, specifically from Jeremy Chin and Isaiah Palomalu. Ryan McFadden, Carolyn Jeanty going back to his college stance. He said, "I love it. I don't know why y'all change." That's the thing. Why are y'all changing shit if you don't need to change it? Raiders head coach Pete Carroll and rookie wide receiver Jack Besh. He said that we just need to get him out there more. He's ready for it. Well, tell your OC Pete Carroll to start calling some different plays. Ian Swanson. He said that left tackle Cole Miller's ankle injury presents an opportunity for rookie Charles Grant to quote, make a charge. He noted that Stone Forsythe is the first option, but praised both for how they've done with the team so far. Sounds like Grant playing is a real possibility. He also said, I saw nothing but upside on film from week 4, specifically spoke on the defense and Jeanty plus Mostert. That is Pete Carroll. Shots Graphic Raider, he tweeted this out for our knowledge, you guys. Colts have the worst red zone defense in football and a lousy third down defense as well. On the other hand, they are top 10 in every other category defensively. Yikes, hashtag Raider Nation. And we knew, we know that going into Indianapolis that the offensive line, this Chicago game was a really, really good confidence booster. They played a Chicago front 7 that really was not that good. They only had 5 sacks on the year going into the game. Then they were out with Grady Jarrett and out with Tremaine Edmonds, the starting linebacker and the starting defensive tackle. So they were out with 2 of their star guys in the front 7. I kind of expected the offensive line to have the upper hand here, but I'm glad that they actually did it, because if they got smacked around like they did last week against Washington, I would have been ranting already, you guys. But I got to give the flowers to the offensive line. They played who was in front of them. They had more good reps than bad ones. On the 64-yarder of Ashton Jeanty, a little criticism. Meredith actually lost his block, and the defensive tackle could have basically disrupt the play. Jeanty breaks the tackle and then basically gets out of all that chaos, gets a one-on-one with Bayard, or I don't know how you say his name, breaks the tackle, gets him for the touchdown. Can we have that same success against Indianapolis? You're gonna need to get the run game going. It seems this run game is gonna be the backbone of this offense. Can you trust Geno to throw the football? I'm asking that because 7 interceptions in 4 games is disgusting, no matter how you look at it, especially when you go back and you look at the interceptions. The interceptions were solely on Geno Smith. Just terrible throw after terrible throw after terrible throw. His accuracy is horrible, you guys. Horrible. But let me get into let me get into these comments, you guys. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. We got Demokes in the building. I was watching a bit of Sandy's video he posted today. And apparently the guy who blocked the kick said it was easy to find out how to tell when they are about to hike because the long snapper. Oh, yeah, I did see that. I seen that, Demokes. And Sanji said it's on the special teams coach to correct that. And what's crazy, Demokes, is Sanji brought up that earlier in the game, they were getting close to blocking Carlson's kicks. Like in the beginning of on all of his kicks, his PATs, and even the field goal that that gave us 24 points. Like you said here, Demokes, special teams has been pretty bad. I think the special teams coach has a horrible record in his career, and this is the guy we hired. Not even in our worst years has our special teams have been this bad yet. I think it's Atomic Man, I think is his name. Graf's been wanting him to get out of here for a while. I think he came over with McDaniels. Yeah, Atomic Man. Yeah, Atomic Man's the special teams coordinator for the Raiders. Something's got to fix with the special teams the most. That is all on coaching. Like, and I seen the same thing that Sanji was trying to tell us. It's there. That little key, that telltale sign when he's about to snap it, it is there. All you got to do is just watch him. You watch him, you get time to snap perfectly. And the thing is, the Bears almost got there a couple of times before the block kick. You would think Tom McMahon would figure it out. Like, hey, maybe we need to stop doing this, or man, make them jump off sides. I don't give a F. Like that's 100% on the coaches, Demokes. That's 100% on Tom McMahon. Also seen that JPJ didn't give a single pressure. Bro, JPJ's a beast, man. We got Ant in the building. We got Excel Raider in the building. Salute to you guys. Demokes, I don't even know who to blame. Chip, Pete, Tom Brady. I thought we got a running back because we were going to be a run team, be a run first team. Play the run and set up the pass, not the other way around. First play was a pass. You know what's crazy, Demokes? The Raiders ran the football 31 times. Now, if you take if you take Geno, sorry, I had to get my thoughts. Geno scrambles out of that. That thing is like 21 times that we ran the football. Let me double check here. How many times we ran the football? Actually, let me go box score. Actually, let me go back to stats. Let me see how many times we ran the football. It was actually 4 times. So about 30, about 27. 27 carries to 21 pass attempts. Or actually, hold on, because again, the scrambles. So he had 4 drop. You got to add 4 of the dropbacks. So about like 24, 25 passing plays. The point is, Demokes, I'm making here is that we ran the football more than we passed the ball. What's sad about this, Demokes, is that Geno only had 21 attempts and he still threw 3 interceptions. He still threw 3 interceptions, Demokes. That's what's crazy. He had 21 passing attempts and still threw 3 interceptions. He didn't even throw the football that much. He only threw it 21 times. And we ran the football 27 times. It's going to say 31, but that's because Geno scrambled and he had 4 carries for like 30-something yards, 40-something yards. But yeah, we ran the football and we ran it effectively. I was having a conversation with another Raider fan and he was upset because he was like, why are we not running the football? I'm like, what are you talking about? We are running the football. What sucks, though, you guys, we just couldn't pass the football. I'm not saying stop calling. Like, it was a great balance between running the football and passing the football. Problem is you couldn't pass the football because Geno was being inaccurate all over the field, putting the ball in harm's way. And honestly, the most, if we're going to go towards the end of the game, because I know people are putting blame on the defense, I'm putting blame on Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll being too conservative. Yes, play for the field goal, play for the win. But why are we not trying to make the field goal easier for Carlson? Why are we almost banking on and guaranteeing, oh, Carlson is going to make a 50-plus yarder? Yes, we can say, well, that's the new norm in today's NFL. Not every field goal is guaranteed, you guys. Did we not watch what happened last week with all the block kicks? Did we not see what happened last week? Why are we being conservative? That like, I was expecting us to kick the field goal with at least 3 seconds left. If he misses, he misses. If he makes it, he makes it. But the point of the matter being, Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, is that the Chicago Bears do not touch the football again. And yet you run it 2 straight times. That was when I was okay passing it. Get more yards. Make the field goal more manageable. Accelerator. Colts 537. Raiders 10. Damn. I know we're bad, but damn, we ain't that bad. The Mokes. The shit's just annoying, bro. I expect to see this amateur shit from high school and college, not the NFL. The thing is, the Mokes, when you have an offensive coordinator calling college plays, you're gonna see this amateur shit like college plays, because that is exactly what this playbook is. It's a college playbook that Chip Kelly is running, not an NFL playbook. Now, can it work, Demokes? It could work. I'm not saying it can't, because when I go watch the film, there's guys open. There is guys open, and Geno is, like 808 said here, Geno's just way too predictable. 2 of his 3 interceptions were the same exact play. You got DBs jumping routes with confidence. So much so, he's willing to give up a potential big play, which is crazy, you guys. I'm going to show you guys the second. We'll do the first interception. I'll show you the first interception. Because you're right, 808. It's the same exact play. I've been hearing that all day today that, oh, it's the same exact play. Same exact play. And I'm like, bro, there's no way it's the same exact play. Sure enough, it's the same exact fucking play. Same exact play. I'm going to show this real quick, you guys, for y'all. All right. So Byard's going to be right here. He's just going to sit on Jacoby's route. That's going to cut up here. You're going to have Thornton go deep and Tucker go deep. Just have 3 verticals with Myers coming over the middle. The problem is Geno's eyes are going to be locked into this zone right here. And Byard's just going to read him like a book. He's just going to read him like a book. The thing is, he was, like I said, he's willing to let these 2 guys go deep. He trusts that he has help. But the problem is you have Thornton and Tucker getting deep. And honestly, if the ball's thrown right here, you could get a PI call right here. If the ball is thrown here. The thing is, he also rushes it. You don't have any pressure in your face. And if you feel like you do, step up a little bit. Gain a little space. Buy a little bit more time. Plus, if you want to make this throw, bro, this ball should already be on a line to Jacoby Myers already. Already. The thing is, as soon as the windup happens, you see that. Byard's already booking it right towards Myers. He gets intercepted. And again, you guys, from the end zone view, it's a clean pocket. But this is what I wanted to bring this up. This could be Geno in his own head with that time clock. The pressure from last week of getting to him, same against the Chargers, and even some against the New England Patriots. This offensive line has not been able to hold up. Does that clock become shorter in Geno's head? Could be, because this is a rush throw. And it's funny because it's a rush throw, but a late throw. If he's gonna make that throw, it needs to be out. It needs to be out sooner. If he just wants to get the ball out, you got to open your eyes, Geno. This cannot be. And the thing is, it sails him. Jacoby doesn't even have a chance to make a play on the ball. Look where the ball is, and look where Byard is at. Jacoby can't even make a play on the ball. Disgusting. Let's get into the next one, you guys. Let's get into the next one. The next one is going to come in the second quarter. Almost the same exact play. The thing is, instead of Jacoby, it's Brock doing the motioning. I think it was Tucker doing the motioning in the first one. This is the second interception, you guys. It's going to be the same exact play. You're going to have Thornton running. Well, Thornton's going to come out, and then he's going to go towards the sideline. Tucker's going to he's going to basically you're going to see Tucker get just so open here. He's going to split the safeties. The thing is, Byard is going to gamble again, and it works out because he's going to see Jacoby come again over the middle, and he's just watching the eyes of Geno Smith. He's just watching the eyes of him. Just let it play out. And it pissed me off because he's like making a check here. I don't know what check you're making here if you're just going to lock on a Jacoby here. Disgusting. Because the thing is, ball is still in his hands, you guys. Ball is still in his hands. The thing is, he is glued to this side, forgetting he has a guy one-on-one right here. And shoot, you can even give Jeanty a little space. They're covering the first down marker, but look what Tucker does. The ball's about to be thrown. Byard is about to gamble, undercut it, get the interception. The thing is, if you could pump fake him, he's already commit, like you said, with confidence. With confidence. They're jumping routes with confidence. You can literally catch Byard looking in the backfield a little too long. You pump fake him, he's biting on this, and you got Tucker by himself. This corner won't be able to get over. You put this on a line, on a rope, Tucker's going to be open. But you have to bait Byard. You have to bait him. And seems it would have been easy to bait him because you could have pump faked him. And if you did, if you did and he didn't bite and he's taking Tucker deep, well, shoot, Myers is wide open over the middle. Again, a throw that he just gets baited into throwing. Next interception, you guys. The next one, this one was just absolutely just a terrible, terrible throw by Geno. Start of the second half, start of the third quarter. We're up 14. We're up 14 to 6, I believe. I think that we're up 14 to 6. Coming out of the half, we start with the football first. Can gain momentum. And this is what Geno does. Now, what you're going to just get a bootleg. It's going to be a play action bootleg. Geno's going to roll to his right. You're going to have Tucker come on a deep. It's going to be he's coming over the middle of the field. I don't know the route concept of it, but he's going to come over on a deep route, and then Myers is going to be underneath, basically running the same route. They're going to be coming over the middle of the field, and you're also going to have Bowers come near the flat. The problem with this is that it's the throw. And there's not really much of a window to make this throw either. Oh, it wasn't even Bowers. Sorry, it was Ian Thomas coming off flat. Bowers was running a deep post route, it seems, or towards the sideline. But from the end zone view, you're going to see how there's not really a window. You're going to see Jacoby come over the middle, and there's not really a window there. There's not a window there for Geno. It's a tight coverage. This throw has to be right here. Instead, he's going to throw it right behind Jacoby, and allows the corner to just undercut the route, get another gimme interception. And you guys, these interceptions all led to points. They all led to points. The first two interceptions, it led to 2 field goals. This interception led to a Caleb Williams touchdown to Roma Dunze. 13 points off of Geno's turnovers. 13 points, you guys, off of Geno's turnovers. So it's a Yaya in the building. Accelerator. Geno is terrified out there, and I don't blame him. You can't take hits on every play at 34. The line played okay yesterday, but Geno still has the last 4 games on his mind. That's what it looks like, Axel. That's what it looks like. He's not going through his progressions like he did when we were playing against New England, even against the Chargers. He was not going through his progressions. He was willing to get the ball out quick. The problem is his timing was off. He wanted to get what's crazy is I say he wanted to get the ball out quick, but there was a couple, that first interception, he throws it late. The first interception, he throws it late. He waits until Jacoby is already coming out of his break to finally throw the football. And then the next interception, that was just the same play. Like, you're asking to be intercepted. Like, Bayer just seen this in the first quarter. You're not fooling anybody. Sean Johnson, maybe Chip Kelly's playbook might work better with the quarterback like Lenore Sellers, who's coming out of college more fresh than Chip Kelly. Just a thought. And we will talk about where do the Raiders go from here, you guys? Where do the Raiders go from here? You got to keep Geno in. I'm not calling for Geno to be benched. I joked around saying Kenny Pickett time. Kenny Pickett incoming. But in actuality, you got to keep Geno Smith in. The thing is, you guys, I knew going into the season what Geno Smith was going to be. He was going to be a bridge quarterback. He wasn't going to be the franchise. He wasn't going to be the savior. He is just going to be a quarterback for the time being to be the starting quarterback for the Raiders until the Raiders find that franchise quarterback. I knew that. I knew going into the season that Geno was not going to, that expecting Geno to win, that it was going to be because of him, to win 7 to 9 games. It wasn't going to be because of him. I thought it was going to be because of a balanced attack between the running game and the passing game. That's what I was believing. Why we could win 7 to 9 games. But we've seen in week 2, we've seen in week 2, we've seen in week 3 that the Raiders didn't have a balanced attack. They committed to the passing game in week 2. That bit them in the ass. 3 interceptions from Geno. Ashton Jeanty only had 11, 14 carries, touches, I believe. Washington, they got Jeanty going a little bit, but again, the offensive line struggling. But again, committing to the passing game in week 3, knowing you have a terrible O-line, and now you have a quarterback that is very inaccurate with the football. And this past week, O-line plays better, and Geno is just the bet. Again. Shout out to Oscar. Geno, I think he meant Geno. Geno is not a consistent quarterback. I'm a Seahawks fan, and that's why we got rid of him. And Oscar, correct me if I'm wrong. I was assuming Seattle was going to do the same thing that I want the Raiders to do. Geno Smith comes in, bring that bridge quarterback, while Seattle goes and finds that young quarterback to develop. It might be. What's the kid's name? That was Alabama. Bro? Why am I drawing a blank here? Jalen Milroe. Maybe he'd be the guy to be developed now under Sam Darnold. But I was hearing, Oscar, from a lot of Seahawks fans that telling Raiders fans that we're going to see why Seattle wanted Geno out. Axel, I'm not sure who could play behind this line. Even Mahomes and Allen will play badly behind this line. No, I agree, Axel. My 2026 Christmas list is revamping the offensive line. You got to revamp. You got to go get a guard. You got to go put JPJ at center next season. I don't care what you got to do. Put JPJ at center. Go get guards. Revamp that offensive line. Build up that offensive line. And do not have asset, Spytech. Do not have asset. And you have to draft a quarterback. For the people who have been following this channel, you guys know how long I've been banging on the table to draft an early round quarterback. And I gave answers. CJ Stroud. It seems that there's a trade in place for Ziegler could have made it happen. McDaniels didn't want it. Jaden Daniels, that was going to be a pipe dream. But I liked Bo Nix coming out of Oregon. Could have probably made a move for him. He went, one draft pick ahead of us, I think? Or was that J.J. McCarthy? I don't know. Yeah, we got Brock Bowers out of that draft, but like I said, you guys, it's not like the Raiders could not have addressed the quarterback position the right way. Drafting a young kid, developing him. People will say, well, Aiden O'Connell. No, I'm not talking about a fourth-round guy that is probably going to take years to develop. I'm not even talking about Cam Miller. I'm talking about drafting a first-round quarterback, hell, a second-round quarterback. It worked with Derek Carr. Yes, and you guys may be surprised by that. What I meant by is we drafted Derek Carr in the second round, and it worked out up until 2016 or 2017. And then it went downhill from that. And before I made Raiders Primos, you guys, in 2018, after seeing the season in 2017 that Derek Carr had, I had a feeling that we were not going to see the same Derek Carr that we seen in 2016. So I kept saying the Raiders need to go draft a quarterback. Not in the late rounds, you may not see it, but you need to draft a quarterback in case this $125 million quarterback doesn't work out post-injury. Why did I say that? Because it happens. It happens where quarterbacks, we've seen it with RG3. We've seen it with Andrew Luck. We've seen it. Hey, you can even put Peyton Manning, even though he threw for like 55 touchdowns after his neck injury, but that was more of an age thing. And then we've seen it with Derek Carr and breaking his leg. Marcus Mariota broke his leg the same day. Quarterbacks, the only quarterback I know that came back from like a devastating leg injury was Tom Brady, and he's one of the greatest of all time. But 9 times out of 10, you guys, a quarterback with a devastating injury like that, they do not return back to the same quarterback, that MVP caliber quarterback. They regress. And I was thinking, of course, Carr is going to regress. He's coming off of a leg injury. It's going to take some time. But in case this shit don't work and he doesn't get back to where we think he can get back to, you need to draft a quarterback. 2018, you had a chance to possibly go get Josh Allen. I know no one was talking about it because we thought we didn't need a quarterback. 2019, we still think we didn't need a quarterback. 2020, we still didn't think we needed another quarterback. The thing is, you guys, all the quarterbacks that the Raiders passed on have played in playoff games. Josh Allen played in a playoff game. Say what you want. Tua Tagovailoa played in a playoff game. Justin Herbert played in a playoff game. Trevor Lawrence played it. I know they didn't pass on Trevor Lawrence. I'm just saying, you guys, the NFL is trending more to the young quarterbacks, and the Raiders keep trying to trade for 34-year-old vets, 37-year-old vets, players that their time is already up. Their time is already up. It is time to go draft a quarterback. Whether that is Sellers, whether that is Mendoza, whoever, go draft a quarterback. And it's not to draft them and start them and just ruin their confidence. No. You keep Geno. You keep Geno Smith. You guys may not like this, but you keep Geno Smith. You give Geno Smith is the starter for the 2026 season, and you have the rookie quarterback, not be quarterback 3. You don't have him be quarterback 3. The rookie quarterback is quarterback 2. Have him learn. Have him develop under the starter. I could defend Aiden O'Connell on that part, that if Josh McDaniels wanted Aiden O'Connell to be the successor after Derek Carr, the least he could have done was put Aiden O'Connell at quarterback 2. Have Aiden develop. Have Aiden learn under Jimmy G, even though that's not a great quarterback to learn from. But that's what I would have loved to see. Not saying it would have, because Aiden O'Connell was a 4th-round pick. Not saying it would have worked, but that is what these other teams are doing. That's what the Chiefs did with Patrick Mahomes. That's what the Buffalo Bills did with Josh Allen. A lot of these quarterbacks that got drafted, Justin Herbert with the Chargers, they don't just get thrown into the fire. They get developed. They learn under the starter. And then when the time is right, whether the team is losing or an injury happens, the rookie comes in. We've seen it with Jackson Dart, even though he didn't really impress me. He got the win, though. He got the win. But stat-wise, he didn't really do anything in the passing game. He was 13 for 20, 111 yards with 1 touchdown. He did have a 15-yard touchdown run also, so he had 2 touchdowns on the day. So he did what he had to do. He had 2 touchdowns. Got the dub against the Chargers. Can he develop? Can he become something? Who knows? You don't know of one game, but he showed promise. And that when was the last time? When was the last time we had a quarterback show promise? Maybe you could argue, yeah, Derek in his rookie year. And like I said, he took that 2015, 2016, had amazing years. And then after that, it was just stats, baby. Oh, yeah, I got to that. Yeah, supposed to be serviceable quarterback, not a season killer. I get that, yeah. I get that. He was supposed to be serviceable. But when you have him throwing the football 40 times a game against the Chargers, I think he threw like 30 sometimes against the Commanders, and the hits that he's taking, he's gonna get into his own head. Yeah. And I believe that was very evident in yesterday's loss against the Chicago Bears. The offensive line and the running game finally got it together. In the offensive line, not just in the running game, but in the passing game, they were protecting Geno. Like I brought it up, Next Gen Stats says he was only pressured 6 times, according to Next Gen Stats, by the Chicago Bears. And he was not sacked 1 time. But he was in his own head. Those throws, Yaya, were right to the defenders. They were gimmies. They were literally like gift wrapped. XL, we can make a play for Darnold after this year. Seattle has him to what, 3-year deal, I believe. And he's actually playing pretty well with Seattle. Let me see what his contract. It's a 3-year deal, isn't it? Yeah. Sam Darnold signed a 3-year deal, $100.5 million contract with Seattle Seahawks in March of 2025. The Seattle's not going to let Sam Darnold go. Axel, they're not. And the thing is because Seattle. Correct me if I'm wrong, Oscar. Isn't Seattle 3-1? Isn't Seattle 3-1? Yeah, they're 3-1. 3-1, tied it with the Niners and the Rams for first place. Sam Darnold's not going nowhere. Alec M. I would have liked if the Raiders made a move for Penix. They could have. They could have, Alec. The thing is, that year they could have made a move. They could have traded up if they wanted a quarterback. They could have traded up for one. Maybe it wouldn't have been Jaden Daniels, but they could have got a quarterback. They could have got JJ McCarthy. They could have got Bo Nix. They could have got Michael Penix. They could have. They could have jumped in front of Atlanta. Rough when last game was close, but couldn't get it done again. AJ, the line stood up this game. This is 100% on Geno. It's facts. 100% on Geno. Those throws were atrocious. Andre Banker. And me and Andre, we usually disagree a lot. But hey, always welcomed in the chat. Mark Davis is to blame. He has trusted Tom Brady to do what? He is already rich and does not care about winning. Carr had more than stats. We cut him like a dog. Now folks are pissed. It's funny. The thing is, people who are pissed, Andre, see, I'm pissed because I had a plan in place. I had a plan even when Carr was here. The thing is, Carr had more than stats. What other than stats did he have? He didn't have wins. He had faith. And damn, Andre, I need some of that. I need that faith that he had, that faith in God, man. I need that. I think the Raiders need that. The thing is, I'm pissed, Andre, because I had a plan, and I always tell you this, Andre. If I was the GM, we would have had a quarterback to replace Carr, and it wouldn't have been a Jimmy G. It wouldn't have been a Brian Hoyer. It wouldn't have been an Aiden O'Connell, a Desmond Ridder, a Geno Smith. It would have been a young, promising quarterback. If I had to trade up to go get Josh Allen in 2018, I would have done it. If I had to trade up to get JJ McCarthy, I would have done it. Trade up to get Michael Penix, I would have done it. CJ Stroud, I would have done it. The thing is, you can say he half-assed it. I'll give you that. You can say he half-assed it. I'm not going to say he failed because he still is in the building and he still has, unless he gets fired, he has 2026 offseason to rebuild this offensive line. The thing is, you guys, here's the thing, Alec. What did I say before the year started? I said the reason why I was not confident in 10 wins that most people were saying, or even 11 wins, and why I was more at the 7 to 9 wins was because the defense and the offensive line had a lot of holes still to work through. And then what made me even more nervous, Alec, is when they did this offensive line shuffling where they put JPJ at right guard, Dylan Parham at left guard, and then Meredith at center. That's when I really lost confidence in the offensive line. That's not on Spytek. That's on Pete Carroll and the coaching staff for making that offensive line shuffle. I was okay with not the cap signing, but I was okay with him at least drafting 2 offensive linemen in the draft, and Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant. I was okay with that because I assumed the line was going to be JPJ at center, Meredith at left guard, Parham at right guard. Wasn't the best offensive line, but it's something that you could work with until the following year, where you can make the offensive line better and potentially go get your quarterback of the future. Now, honestly, they have no choice but to do that going into next season. They have to address the offensive line. They have to address getting the quarterback of the future. I'm not talking about signing Kirk Cousins, trading for Russell Wilson. No, drafting first round or second round. Got to be an early round quarterback. No third, fourth, fifth, sixth round quarterbacks anymore. I want it to be like this: quarterback, offensive line. Those are your two first picks. Those are your two first picks. Not a corner, not a wide receiver, not another tight end. Offensive line and quarterback. That's going to be your first two picks in this year's draft, Spy Tech. So you better scout the best offensive line, and you better scout the best quarterback that's probably going to fall to you in the second round. Or if you go quarterback first, I'm cool with that too. But then second round, offensive line. AJ, I'm over the Caillou Blue experiment. Bring up Porter. I gotta watch a little bit more on Caillou, AJ. But I'm over the whole secondary experiment as a whole. The secondary gave me worries at the beginning of the year. It gave me worries, and it's a bunch of young guys. You know, I'm not beating them up because they suck. It's a bunch of young guys. Isaiah, minus Jeremy Chin. You got Eric Stokes, who is finally being available, even though he did get injured yesterday's game. Was a sprained knee. Pete Carroll said it wasn't too much, you guys. So Eric Stokes looking like he will be active against Indianapolis. And then Caillou, another young guy with Isaiah Palomalu. And then if you put Porter in there, he's probably not going to be any better than Caillou. He's probably going to have the same mistakes that Caillou's making. The young probably miscommunication. I know it's with Caillou, AJ, beats the communication between him and Isaiah is not. It's not there. It's not there. But I don't, like I said, I don't think Darian will do any better. But I do like your thought process. Just put Darian in, put the young guy in, see what he can bring. Ostover and Black, give Patrick Graham the reins. Yeah, that last drive, playing that soft coverage when we know Patrick Graham loves his man coverage in that situation. I don't know what the defense was doing on that last drive. But like I said, Ostover and Black, the Raiders defense should not have been put in that situation. They should not be put in that situation. Max Crosby had an interception. The Bears could not run the football to save their life. They couldn't even pass the football to save their life. They started in Raiders territory 4 different times. Also in Black. They started in Raiders territory 4 different times. Geno Smith's 3 interceptions led to 13 points from the Bears. Jeanty, luckily, his fumble didn't lead to any points because Max Crosby, freaking superstar, got an interception to shut that drive down. But 13 points. If Geno even just throws 1 interception, if he doesn't throw those 3 interceptions, this is a totally different conversation today, you guys, that we're having. We would not be 1-3. We would be 2-2 going into Indy. Alec, the faith Danny Dimes has in himself is a lot. When you got that offensive line that he has, and the thing is, he also utilizes his legs. There's times where Geno utilizes his legs, and we're like, yeah, Geno, like when he picked up that 20-yarder to get into the red zone, and then 2 plays later hit Jeanty for a touchdown. It's plays like that I got excited for Geno. But for whatever reason, this dude got cement blocks for feet because he likes to stay in the pocket more than try to utilize his legs and get out of the pocket and scramble for a couple of yards. Like that play, that interception on Jacoby, the third one. You did not have to throw that. And if you were going to throw it out. If you don't have confidence that in the throw, see if you could pick up 2 yards. I know you're 34, bro, but come on. You can't outrun the defensive lineman. Like, come on. Andre, I agree. All good. It just hurts year after year. It does, Andre. I'm hurt. The thing is, you're hurt because they let go Carr and they didn't, they don't have an. I think we're kind of angry for the same reasons. Because I'm angry because they let go Carr, but they have no answer. Like, they didn't have a plan B. That's the thing. There's fans out there, Andre, that want a Carr gone, but they had a plan B. And it wasn't go sign Jimmy G, go sign Geno Smith, go sign Brian Hoyer. That was not the plan B. The plan B was go draft your quarterback of the future. I'm going to bring up an interesting stat, Andre. Since the 1994 NFL draft, all right? Since the 1994 NFL draft, that's over 31 years ago, y'all. Since the 1994 NFL draft, over 31 years ago, the Raiders have drafted a total of 6 quarterbacks. 6 quarterbacks, you guys. 1995, they didn't. Marquez Tuisopo from Washington was drafted in the 2nd round. 2005, Andrew Walter from Arizona State was drafted. 2007, Jamarcus Russell from LSU was selected with the 1st overall pick. 2014, Derek Carr from Fresno State was selected in the 2nd round. 2023, Aiden O'Connell from Purdue, drafted in the 4th round. 2025, Cam Miller from North Dakota State was drafted in the 6th round. 6 quarterbacks, you guys, in 31 years have been drafted. Well, 7, because what about Connor Cook and Tyree? I remember Tyree. What was it? What was his name? Tyree. So freaking Wilson. Wasn't Tyree Wilson the one that we know? It wasn't. I think it wasn't his name Tyree Wilson. Hold up. Because I think it was the same. It was in 2013. They drafted a quarterback. Tyler Wilson, yeah. They drafted Tyler Wilson in 2013. So it was actually 8 quarterbacks. My bad, y'all. But 8 quarterbacks. 8 quarterbacks in 31 years, you guys. No one should complain if we go tackle in the 1st round next year. I'm not complaining. As long as it's an offensive tackle or guard or quarterback. I just want the best lineman in the draft or the best quarterback. AJ, you see the stat where Blue has given up 256 yards? Wow. I did not see that, AJ. Thank you for bringing that up. Wow. 256 is disgusting. Alec, most of us were very nervous about our inexperienced corners coming into the season. Yeah, and this was me too. The thing is, Alec, that's why I'm not really beating up Caillou too much, because he's a young corner. And also I didn't expect much out of him. If he balled out, he balled out. If he didn't, it is what it is. It's not like I expected much out of him. Bro, Terrell, I can't believe it. Terrell Pryor, 9 quarterbacks. Well, I think it was in the supplemental draft, wasn't it? I think, was he part of the NFL draft? All silver and black. Those people wanted an elite quarterback to replace Carr. They didn't want a rookie quarterback. The thing, and that's what's crazy, all silver and black. You're not going to replace Carr and then immediately get an elite quarterback unless it was Tom Brady in 2020 that John Gruden closed. That's probably the only time that was going to happen. The thing is, you needed to get a rookie quarterback because that's where it was going to start to develop him. In 2018, imagine if you had Josh Allen sitting under Derek Carr. Not like, would we get the same Josh Allen as in Buffalo? Who knows? That's the thing. Who knows? At the time, Buffalo didn't know what they had in Josh Allen until Josh Allen is Josh Allen. Kansas City didn't know what they had in Patrick Mahomes until Patrick Mahomes did what he did. All those picks were a risk. I understand that. But I'd rather take a risk than deal with this shit show year in and year out of putting a Band-Aid over the quarterback position. Alec M, Jimmy G, and Minshew sure weren't the answer. It's facts. Facts. Another stat, you guys. Is the quarterbacks that the Raiders traded for or signed since 2002, you guys. Now, this is coming from Google. All right, I don't know how accurate it is because it probably would take me all day to find out, and probably was way more quarterbacks. So since 2002, the Raiders have acquired over 15 quarterbacks through trades and free agent signings. This number does not include quarterbacks drafted by the team like Jamarcus Russell, Derek Carr, and Aiden O'Connell. Notable quarterbacks signed and traded for since 2002. Kerry Collins signed in 2004. Aaron Brooks started 8 games for the team after signing as a free agent in 2006. Dante Culpepper traded to the Raiders, started in 6 games in 2007. Josh McCown started 9 games in 2007. Bruce Gradkowski signed as a free agent. He started 8 games over the 2009 and 2010 seasons. Jason Campbell acquired in a trade with Washington. He was the primary starter in 2010 and 2011. Carson Palmer traded from Bengals for draft picks. Palmer started for the Raiders in 2011 and 2012. Matt Flynn traded from the Seahawks, but only started 1 game. Christian Hackenberg acquired via trade with the New York Jets in 2018. That is not what I meant by getting a quarterback in 2018. Jimmy Garoppolo signed as a free agent after a stint with the Niners. Gardner Minshew, 2024, signed as a free agent in 2024. Desmond Ridder, Geno Smith, Kenny Pickett. You guys, they drafted 9 quarterbacks to 15 quarterbacks that they tried to just put a Band-Aid on. Yeah, Alec. Undrafted rookie in McGloin. Like, the thing is, they kept putting Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band ever since Gannon. And then, I'm not going to lie, we hit with Derek Carr. We finally hit with Derek Carr, but it started trending in the wrong direction. That I felt that we needed to draft a quarterback. We needed to draft a quarterback. Can't be good game, Raiders fans. Both our teams sucked it up pretty good with flashes of awesome. You know what's crazy is I was watching that game, Ken, and I'm like, this is a game between the Bears and the Raiders. Like, who wants to lose? That's what it felt like. It felt like, oh, I wanted to lose. I want to lose. No, I want to lose. No, I want to lose. Like, it felt like the Bears were doing everything in their power to lose that game, and the Raiders were doing everything in their power to lose the game as well. Y'all came out with the dub, though. It seems we wanted to lose more. Also, remember, Black, Carr was never the problem. If Carr had this defense, you can't convince me this isn't a playoff team. How far into the playoffs? Also, remember, Black. I asked that because the thing is, I never said Carr, and the thing is, I will never be someone that says Carr was a bad quarterback. I'm just not someone who's going to say he's a great quarterback, like most people will say. He was never a great quarterback. And you can't convince me that he is a great quarterback because he's not a great quarterback. Carr is a decent, average quarterback. He had moments he was good, but for the most part, he was average. He was decent. He was good enough to get you out of the top 10 in the draft but good enough to lose you enough games to miss the playoffs. And then when we got to the playoffs, he loses you a playoff game. The thing is also, I've seen where defenses held up when Carr was here, when defenses held teams under 16 points, under 14 points, and he could not score. He was looking, he was struggling. Him and the offense was struggling. And I just felt after 9 years, hell, in 2018, I felt to play it safe, you had to draft a quarterback in case. Not saying because Carr was asked in 2017 or 20, no, in case he never recovered from the leg injury. Because you've seen in the past quarterbacks with leg injuries like that breaks their leg or torn ACL, they don't come back the same. They don't return to that MVP caliber quarterback. So I was saying, just in case you have a plan B. That's where the Raiders fucked up, Silver and Black. They never had a plan B. Like, bro, I'm glad Ken is in here. Look at the Bears. Drafted Mitch Trubisky. Drafted Justin Fields. Drafted Caleb Williams. Bears actually give a fuck. They actually care. They're like, hey, we missed with Mr. Trubisky, draft Justin Fields. We missed with Justin Fields, draft with Caleb Williams. If they miss with Caleb Williams, guarantee Silver and Black, the Bears will draft another quarterback until they get it right. And that's what you do. That's what you do. You draft until you get it right. And I will say that to the Raiders because they haven't even drafted. They haven't even tried drafting a quarterback until they got it right. Like I said, come the NFL draft, the first 2 picks, offensive line, specifically guard or tackle, quarterback. It's been too long. It's been too long. Too long, you guys. The Raiders, and I tell people this. If anybody, me, any of the Raiders content creators, I feel like if they were the GM, you guys, we would probably have a quarterback. Because I know there's people that wanted to draft a quarterback, but I think who was it? Was it who was it? It was Silver and Black. People wanted an elite quarterback, and I just knew that wasn't realistic. That was not realistic. Also, that is not what I want, because I want the Raiders to win decade after decade after decade. I don't want. That's why I didn't want a like 30-plus-year-old quarterback or Aaron Rodgers to come here, even though he's killing with Pittsburgh. But I didn't want Aaron Rodgers to come here because how long was Aaron Rodgers going to be here for? 1 year, 2 years, and then you're right back to you gotta go find a quarterback. You're right back to the same shit. When are the Raiders going to draft a fucking quarterback, you guys? We're watching the Chiefs draft Mahomes in the first round. Chargers. Think about this, you guys. The Chiefs, who were in playoffs ever since Andy Reid got there. Ever since Andy Reid got there, was in the playoffs with Alex Smith. The Chiefs were like, enough is enough. Kicked Alex Smith to the curb, drafted Patrick Mahomes before they kicked Alex Smith to the curb. What did the Chargers do? They were done with Phillip Rivers. Before they kicked him to the curb, what did they do? They kicked him to the curb, signed Tyrod Taylor. I think they signed Tyrod Taylor, drafted Justin Herbert. Tyrod got injured. Justin Herbert goes in there. Rest is history. Denver Broncos, who have been on a quarterback hunt ever since Peyton Manning. Getting Paxton Lynch didn't work out. Brock Osweiler didn't work out. Trevor Siemian Didn't work out. They kept trying to put a Band-Aid on it as well. Going to get Teddy Bridgewater. Didn't work out. Until what finally happened? What did Denver do, you guys? They drafted a quarterback. And now they got Bo Nix ready to kick the Raiders' ass for the next decade. Where the Raiders are going to get owned by Herbert. They're going to get owned by Mahomes, as they already are getting owned by Mahomes. And they're going to get, and Bo Nix already got 2 wins on us. Chronicles, I had a big lunch today with lots of fiber. I have to go take a Geno. Hey, enjoy that Geno, Chronicles. Silver and Black. When Carr was there, we didn't need a quarterback. Quarterback wasn't the need. They needed a defense. Most people pointed to the quarterback as a problem. He wasn't the entire problem. And I agree with you, Silver and Black. The defense needed help. We needed help. But there was a time where it's like they were investing too much into the defense. And I wasn't seeing any. I'm like, bro, if you're going to lose, why are we losing? Like, let Carr go somewhere else. Let him go win somewhere else. We need to figure our shit out. We need to figure our shit out. Because that's what I was tired of, Silver and Black. We're losing with him. Why not lose with the rookie quarterback and help him develop? Or lose with have Carr. If you're going to lose with Carr, have him help develop a rookie quarterback under him. The thing is, Silver and Black, we're in an age now where quarterbacks, the Super Bowl winners, they're the great quarterbacks. They're the elite quarterbacks. And maybe if the Raiders were like the Eagles, Carr could have won a Super Bowl with the Raiders. And I say that because Jalen Hurts, he's benefiting off the team carrying him. And that's what I viewed as Derek Carr. Derek Carr will only win in the playoffs or win in a Super Bowl if the team around him is great. Look at 2016. He had a great offensive line, great wide receivers. Khalil Mack causing havoc on the defensive side of the football. The thing is, Silver and Black, we complained about the defense, right? In 2016, even though the Raiders defense was ranked 20, that's why I put so much on Carr. Carr did it to himself, Silver and Black, because the defense, did we forget the first 5 weeks of the 2016 season? How ass cheeks that defense was? But the Raiders still put up points. Carr still found a way to win. And that was the expectation I put on Derek. Not because it was my own expectation, Silver and Black. It was because Derek Carr did that to himself. Because he set the bar up to that standard. He had an MVP caliber season. And that was the bar that he set for the rest of his career, Silver and Black. And let me ask you this. Did he ever get to that point? Did he ever get to that point of being considered an MVP caliber quarterback after that leg injury? That's why I don't call Derek Carr a bad quarterback, because he was not a bad quarterback. But that leg injury changed him. That leg injury changed him. And from then on, I was begging for the Raiders to draft a quarterback. I was begging because you needed a plan B in case Derek does not get back to that MVP caliber quarterback that can carry a team with the bad defense. Joe Burrow had one of the worst offensive lines going into the 2021 season. Still got to the Super Bowl. Lost, but that's farther than what DC got the Raiders to. My thing is, Silver and Black, we are seeing quarterbacks that are considered great, like Josh Allen, like Lamar Jackson, like Joe Burrow, that have nothing. Patrick Mahomes had nothing when it came to wide receivers. And I think the first Super Bowl he won against the Eagles. And he still performed. When are we going to get a quarterback like that you could put a quarterback on the team right now that will carry the team to victory. Super Carr was never the same after that Indianapolis game and injury. Then he lost Musgrave for Todd Downing as an OC. Yeah, that coaching switch also ruined him. Super, you're 100% fact. And again, I would never say DC was a bad quarterback. He was decent. But that standard, he put it on himself. To be an MVP caliber quarterback, he put that on himself. Because he showed us, shit, did we find our quarterback? 28 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, 3,900 yards passing before his leg break. Mentioned in the MVP race. Is it wrong for me to hold him to that standard? Was it wrong for me to be like, I want that? DC, you got to do that again. You got to do that again. Andre, Carr did have more than 1 year than 2016. I guess having 6 different head coaches and OCs has nothing to do with his career. Look at the great teams that have one quarterback and same head coach. I agree with that, Andre, and we could put blame to Mark Davis on that. Because I disagreed when 2017 happened. I disagreed firing Jack Del Rio in favor for John Gruden. I don't know. I don't even know. Hell, we could go back to the Bill Musgrave firing. I don't know why they did that. Now, Andre, you may know Carr. You may know about Carr's lore more than me. Is it true that Derek Carr wanted Todd Downing as offensive coordinator and not Bill Musgrave? Because that is why Bill Musgrave was let go, according to rumors. I haven't confirmed it, but there's a lot of people. There's more rumors of Derek Carr wanted Todd Downing in favor of Bill Musgrave, and that's why Bill left. That's why Todd was the OC, because Derek Carr wanted his guy calling the O. And again, I could put it on Mark Davis. Mark Davis wanted John Gruden. Mark Davis wanted John Gruden. The thing is, at some point, Andre, he's also a vet. Yeah, we can do the 6 different head coaches, 6 different OCs. I get that. Learning a playbook is hard, but he's also a vet. And the way I'm treating Geno is the same way I was treating Carr. You're a veteran quarterback. You're not a rookie anymore. You're not a second-year guy anymore. You're not a third-year guy anymore. You're not a fourth-year guy. You're a veteran. You are a veteran. And you either have it or you don't. You either have it or you don't. But and I give him that, but again, he's a veteran. And that's why I'm not saying firing Pete, Andre. I'm not saying firing Pete, and I'm not gonna say fire. I'm not gonna say fire Pete. I'm not gonna say fire Chip. I'm saying draft a fucking quarterback. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying draft a quarterback. And you know what's crazy, Andre? Even back then, I never said fire a coach unless it was McDaniels, because Josh McDaniels was just a terrible head coach. He was just a terrible head coach. But with Jack Del Rio, I didn't want him fired. John Gruden, I didn't want him fired. Bill Musgrave, I didn't want him fired. Todd Downing, I didn't want him fired. I just wanted a quarterback. Again, what DC went through, I feel for him. But that is why I put a little bit of blame to Mark Davis when it came to that situation with DC. I put a little bit of blame on Mark Davis because he didn't help. And you're right. Yeah, the teams I named, they have the same head coach. But that's why I never called for Del Rio to get fired. I never called for Gruden to get fired. I called for a new quarterback that can carry this team and go into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs consistently. That they can defend Allegiant. You know what's another crazy stat, you guys? Who brought it up? Let me see if I can find it. There's another stat out there that is just a disgusting stat, and it deals with the Raiders' record in Allegiant Stadium. Allegiant Stadium. And I think they're fourth worst. Let's see. They played 43 games. They lost 24, 19 wins, 24 losses. I think here, no, was it by Josh Dubois? But anyways, you guys, I think it was a stat out there where the Raiders are fourth all time of the worst home record in Allegiant so far, like winning percentage. It's insane how we cannot defend our home turf in Vegas, and then they expect Raider fans to show up. That's even more funny. Chronicles: the O-line is starting to gel. The defense is doing better, especially against the run. Jeanty is starting to roll. Ryan Clark can kiss my ass. It'll evolve unless Geno keeps shooting us in the foot. The O-line, I don't want to say they're starting to gel, Chronicles. This was a game where definitely they could build confidence off of, but they played a very, very bad defensive front seven of Chicago. And they're missing two of their starters off that front seven. They gelled. They played good, but got to see it against Indianapolis. Super. Glad Jeanty had the big game to shut Ryan Clark up. Guys, the worst. Oh, yeah. Well, John Gruden's roster got us in the playoffs. I say this, and it might be crazy. Bring Gruden back in 2026 as OC. 2027, head coach Gruden takes over when Pete retires. John was done dirty. He was done dirty, Andre, but I disagree with you. I won't lie and say that, hey, John Gruden's roster did make the playoffs in 2021, but we need context there, Andre. We need context there. Who did the Raiders play? They played a Denver Broncos team who we owned, and they barely beat them. They beat a Carson Wentz-led Indianapolis team who had hella guys not playing due to COVID, or was that Cleveland? But Carson was dealing with COVID also, right? Going into the game. And yeah, Cleveland had like freaking 15, 16 people. Now that I will say this though, Andre, that game against the Chargers, that was a fun game though to end the season on. I will say that. I'll give the Raiders that win. That win was earned. Super. Raiders Primos, you liking Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza, John Mateer, or Lenore Sellers? I got to do more research on Lenore Sellers. I've been hearing a lot of hype surrounding Sellers. I got to see what the hype is for. Not gonna lie, I had more of a look at Fernando Mendoza because I live out here in California. So I got a lot of the Cal games when he was out here playing for Cal, and I really liked what I was seeing out of Fernando Mendoza. I thought it was just because he was playing bad teams, and then he went to Indiana, and now he's killing it with Indiana. Bro, I like what Fernando Mendoza is bringing to the table. If you could get it, hey, draft Mendoza. But I want to see more better competition. I know he's played some ranked teams, has played very well, but I want to see what he can do against, guys like Ohio State, guys like Michigan. I want to see what Mendoza can do against those type of schools. Hopefully Indiana makes it into the playoffs. That way we can see what Mendoza does. That's really when I really love watching quarterback prospects. I love watching them in the playoffs. Revenge of Chucky the Third, bro. We just like going in the past, Super. I did. I brought that up, Super. Nasty stat. Did you know that the Raiders were the first team to lose despite rushing for 240 yards ever? Yeah, nasty stat. Andre, we can't control who we played. Yeah, I get that, Andre, but the truth comes out. Look at the Chiefs last year. Bro, I kept saying they were the worst 15-2 team that made it to the Super Bowl. And the truth came out. They got fucking obliterated by the Eagles. And what happened in the playoffs with the Raiders? We had a tight game against the Cincinnati Bengals, but the thing is we did not deserve to be there. We got lucky to be in that game. It was nice though. It was nice for me to see a playoff a second playoff game with DC. And I was happy for DC, Andre. I was happy for DC because that playoff game in 2016, he got that taken away from him. So I was happy that DC got his playoff game. But that playoff game in itself, we needed a new quarterback. We need a young quarterback. It's becoming a young quarterback league now. We cannot keep signing the Geno Smiths of the world. Or now I'm hearing people want to try to trade for Russell Wilson. Like, why do we keep wanting to put a Band-Aid on the quarterback position? Why can't we just draft a quarterback? Why can't we just draft a quarterback, Raiders? Why can't, like, you guys are allergic or something to drafting a quarterback in the first round? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Some other notable notes, you guys, going into this Indianapolis game. We do know that Colton Miller, he is going to miss some time with a high ankle sprain. Some notes on Stone Forsythe. As of the start of the 2025 NFL season, Stone Forsythe has given up a total of 6 career sacks and at least 43 total pressures, with most of this pressures coming in 2024. Complete hurry data is not available, but reports indicate he has given up numerous hurries throughout his career. His performance has varied significantly year to year and depending on his role. I hope we do not see Forsythe on the field. You guys, I really hope we don't. His career performance by season in 2021, as a rookie, he had minimal offensive snaps. 2022, in limited action, he did not allow any sacks across 68 pass blocking snaps, though he did give up 7 pressures. 2023, in 312 pass block snaps, he allowed 32 pressures and 5 sacks. 2024, while playing right tackle for the Seattle Seahawks, Forsythe gave up a team-leading 35 pressures in just 6 games and including 5 sacks. I really hope we do not see Forsythe on the field, you guys. And without, are we going to see Alex Kappa out there with Miller going down? I'm interested to see how we're going to see the shift of the line. We're probably not, because Kappa's a guard, but I'm really interested to see what the line is going to look like. I'm just hoping Forsythe's not in there. Like, if you're going to die, bro, put Charles Grant out there. Like, if you're really going to die, bro, like, just throw Charles Grant out there. Throw Charles Grant out there. A little bit of JPJ love, you guys. JPJ finished as the 3rd highest graded offensive player for Las Vegas with a 76.1 overall grade. He was dominant in pass protection, earning an 85.4 pass block grade while allowing 0 sacks, hits, or hurries. He also posted a solid 70.1 run block grade, showing his all-around impact. The right guard competition is over, bro. It's over. Let's see if Meredith is in competition at the center position. Bro, Chronicles, this is fact, bro. Keep trying to put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. It's facts. This is facts. And like I said, the Raiders had numerous opportunities, even before releasing DC. They had numerous opportunities to address the quarterback situation and even plan for. The thing is, I know people say that we didn't need a quarterback because DC was here. The thing is, were we winning? That's what I was looking at. Were we winning? He wasn't the entire problem. Did the defense need to be addressed? It did. But the thing is, you had guys like Devontae Adams. You had guys like Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs running behind you. Outside of 2018, where it was just he had a terrible team around him. For the most part, he had talent around him, and he still couldn't. He couldn't put up points. Couldn't win ball games. I just cared about winning, Chronicles. So I kept banging on the table. Draft a quarterback. Draft a quarterback. Draft a quarterback. 7-8 years later, I'm still saying the same thing. Draft a quarterback. Draft a quarterback. Like when Geno got traded, Chronicles, I already said he's going to be a bridge guy until we draft that franchise guy, and they could develop behind Geno. Geno is a serviceable bridge quarterback. He might not even be looking like he's serviceable, but I knew he was a bridge quarterback. He's not the guy that's going to save the Raiders and make them a playoff team. I thought it'd be a balanced attack with Jeanty, and they wouldn't put all the pressure on Geno, but I was wrong. Thing is, Geno is not a franchise quarterback. Geno should not even be considered the franchise. Like if Pete Carroll and Spytek are thinking that Geno is going to be the answer for the next 3 years or the next 4 years, why the fuck did we hire them? Because Geno is not the answer. He never was the answer. He's just a quarterback that is starting right now, and to give you a chance to go locate that franchise guy, draft him, develop him, get him ready to be the franchise guy for the next decade. But no, they keep putting a Band-Aid. Went out to go get Geno, drafted a quarterback just to have him switch positions and then cut him and then go trade for Kenny Pickett. Like, this team does shit backwards, you guys. This team does shit backwards, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch. Even though beginning of the season, I predicted a 7-9 win team, this is looking like a 3-14 team. And my hopes were not high, you guys. My hopes were not high, but I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right. Because if I'm right, then I'm miserable. We're miserable. Because that means the Raiders are losing. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. The thing is, I'm not screaming for fire Pete Carroll. I'm not gonna. They got to hold, the coaching staff got to be held accountable. I'll say that. I'm not calling for their heads, but there got to be some changes. They got to make adjustments. Tom McMahon, you got to fix that special teams, brother. Your long snapper is having telltale signs of when the ball is going to be snapped. Greg Olsen, Chip Kelly, Pete Carroll, go talk to your quarterback. What the hell is going on, Geno? What's going on with you? Brandon Carroll, can we the O-line look a little bit better? Can we see the same offensive line show up against Indy? Spytek, brother, you better have your scouting team all over the nation. Offensive line, quarterback. That is your two positions that you are addressing. Offensive line, quarterback. Hell, I'll throw defensive line. Trenches, quarterback. That is what you're addressing, Spytek, come the offseason. Anyways, y'all, we are going to close it out. We are going to wrap this conversation up. Raiders lose 25-24 on a blocked field goal. Ugly loss. We're gonna have to ride it out, you guys. We're gonna have to ride this season out, and we're gonna ride it out together. Bro, Andre, talk that shit, bro. You know what's crazy, Andre? When Geno threw that third pick, I would have benched his ass right then and there. Throw and pick it. I don't give a fuck. Throw and pick it. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't about benching Geno because you're going to bench him for the rest of the season. It's like, no, I'm trying to win this football game. And Geno, you're fucking that up right now. So I'm going to put Kenny Pickett in. Sit down, think about the game you had, because it wasn't a good one. Kenny Pickett, go get us this dub. That's what should have happened. Because that third pick was inexcusable. Right to the defender. So yes, Raiders, this week in Indianapolis, O-line, can you keep it up? Jeanty, hopefully the line blocks for you because we know what you can bring. Geno, when that line is protecting you, brother, you got to hit the jerseys in the white. All right? Not the jerseys in the blue. You got to hit the jerseys in the white. Unless we're wearing black in Indianapolis. But white jerseys, brother. White jerseys. I'll see y'all later, man. Y'all have an amazing, amazing Monday. We'll be back probably Wednesday if there's any news coming out with, Pete Carroll's presser or anything with the players' pressers, anything out of practice. We'll be live, or we just want to talk some football. We just want to talk midweek preview against Indianapolis. Will be coming probably Thursday or Friday, and then Sunday's the game, and then recap Monday, next Monday. So yeah, you guys, on the way out, hit that subscribe button. You guys hit that like and hit the bell so you guys are not missing anything else. I'm gonna get these last comment in. I'd say Pickett comes in as check down Charlie and manage the game. Maybe, Andre. I'm not saying it would have been any better, but shit, 3 interceptions, like an interception coming out of the half, like, bro, like, I'm just trying to win the game. That's it. I don't care how we win it. I'm just trying to win the game, man. And you turning the ball over, you ain't helping us. Like, you fucking that up, Geno. But anyways, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. We've been going on an hour and 40 minutes, you guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys for pulling up. Please share the link around. Share the link around. Let's get as many subscribers as we can before our bye week. Let's see if we can get 600 subscribers before the bye week. We are at 556, 557, you guys. Run them numbers up. Share with your friends. Share with your family, share with your coworkers, share with anybody that you know that would love to talk about Raiders football. I'm out of here. Love y'all. Peace. Have a great Monday, y'all. Let me see.